Phenomenal, phenomenal. And I have two follow-up questions on that. The first thing that I want to say is, how many of you got a closing gift at your last closing? Not gave, got. Okay, so we could probably learn something from Maria. No kidding. So the first thing is signing up for Buffini and having success with Buffini, two entirely different things. So what, I mean, you know, let's just say that they have no referral business right now and want to build their referral business. What would you say to get them started? You know, going back to Jack's question with Facebook, you know, some of them are really wondering, how do I get started with having a system that produces 90% referrals?
Right. For everybody, it's going to start with your database. You know, who do you know? Who do you know? Who have you sold houses to? Everybody in here already has a database. Family members, church members, the people that you've already sold houses to. And even when you join Buffini, the first thing they're going to tell you is to get your arms around your database, to the point that you can categorize them. Who are the people that know you, that want to see you succeed? And those truly are your advocates. The people that want to see, you know, Rick DeLuca says, you know, who are the people that want to see you succeed more than you do? And those are the people that you want to put a bullseye right on those, around those people, because those are the people that are going to refer you. And those are the people that are going to want to see you succeed. So it kind of starts there, but you've got to literally start with categorizing how, you know, who your screaming advocates are, as opposed to who could possibly be taught about the referral system, you know, who could be brought along, you know, with maybe some gentle guidance. How can you teach these people? Would they be receptive to referring you? And then, you know, other people that just need to stay in contact with you, because their possibility, you know, there's a lot of people that you just want their repeat business too. And as long as you stay in contact with them, then that'll get you, you know. Perfect.
So maybe setting up a system of where, like in your Outlook or how many of you have a calendar, either written or online? Okay, so on your calendar, maybe it's as simple as on the 15th of each month, you call your bullseye people, you call your ambassadors, you call the people that are, quite honestly, they're looking for your success more so than you even are. Let me ask you this. How many of your clients, now I don't want to make this a downer, we'll make sure we end on a high note, but how many of your clients would attend your funeral? I want you to think about that question for a second. How many of your clients would attend your funeral? How many of them would be the reason for your funeral? So I mean, I can tell you that Dan and Maria, you know, 1,000 years from now, when that may happen, would have a lot of their clients at their funeral because they've built deep relationships. And how much does it cost to make that phone call?
I think you could start, what, do you guys know, Brenda, do anybody know? What's like the beginning price that you could join Buffini? 99? Yeah, for 99 bucks, yeah. you could get going. And yeah, you can have enough resources to be dangerous. Buffini, B-U-F-F-I-N-I, and company, they're the largest coaching company of realtors right now in the country.
Yeah, so. Or do a Google search for Brian Buffini, and he has several sites out there. So, all right, so I'm going to ask you two questions on two kind of different notes, because you brought up B&I and networking. And I will tell you that I have seen really bad networking where people are coming in, they're takers, and you know, they just don't get it. Kind of like with Facebook, where they come in and they're trying to take business. And then there's the networking that's based on giving and so on and so forth. Give us a couple of tips so that they could go out and network tomorrow.
Well, first of all, I felt kind of bad because I pictured myself going to the Adele's funeral. And I'm sorry they're not with you. Looking for a realtor? Sorry.
Well, like I said, I hope that doesn't happen for a long time.
Forgive me. I'm actually a member of the Buffini organization as well, and the whole thing of relationship building and networking, that's really the essence of networking anyway. It is how do you stay in contact with people on a very consistent basis, and not so much a hey, I'm Dave Duncan. A lot of times we don't know how to approach our clients anyway, right? We want to call them, but we don't do it. We don't do it for several reasons. Number one, we don't know what to say. We don't have a script. Number two, we haven't done it for 2.5 years, so we feel kind of guilty. And number three, we feel like a hypocrite, so we don't do it. Because we're going to call them and say, hey, how's Bill? Great. How are the kids? Great. Hey, I'm really looking for business. I really don't care about you personally. I'm looking for business. I mean, that's really, and so it's the wrong thing to do. And so the question is, how do you follow up with people really? So whether it's going through a networking organization or networking even with your clients to get that kind of business, I've actually in the last few months started doing something a little bit different on how to approach my clients. I'm sure I'm not the first person to come up with this, but I wanted to share it with you today because I actually have a new listing going in the system today. And this came about from actually networking with my past clients as well, not just a networking organization. But start doing this just as an idea. This is a brand new client. I will call up somebody way back in the food chain and say, Rita, I want to thank you for the piece of business I just got today. And she's going to say, I have no idea what you're talking about. I know. That's the beauty of this. Listen to this. Remember 2.5 years ago you came through that for sale by owner I had? And I sold your house, yeah. And I helped you buy that house, yeah. And you referred me to the Potters, right. And I sold their house for $335 and helped you buy it for $215 and sold yours for $170. And somebody came through my open house at the Potters house and came to me a year later and I sold theirs for $248 in Autumn Ridge. And the lady down the street made the note that I sold it in 30 days, and she kept my contact information. And I want to thank you for that piece of business because she actually had me sell her house this summer for $186, and I helped her buy the biggest house I've sold for $395. And she just referred me to her father today, and I just listed this house for $180. And I want to thank you for all that business you've sent me. And she's like, I don't even know these people. I know. You see how important your referrals are to me? You don't even know how important you are to me here. And not only that, where did I meet her? I met her at a for sale by owner that I never sold. And so I called up John and Alice. John and Alice, I never sold your house. I got to tell you about all the business you sent me. Anybody from John and Alice in that first for sale by owner, I'm doing my timeline backwards up here, John and Alice, that I never sold their home, that led to Rita, that led to Philip and Jennifer and all those folks. It's a great way of following up to thank them. It says how important their business actually is to you. It reinforces that whole issue of, geez, maybe we should send him some more. He loves it. Exactly, and it also implies success without you saying I'm successful. Right? I mean, you're saying I've got this listing and I have all these other sales, and the average agent does 4 sales a year. You just talked about 12 in one sequence. It's $1.4 million of business wrapped up in there. And oh, by the way, going back to John and Alice, the first FSBO I never sold. They sold the house. I actually had a listing agreement with them, and they said, well, we're trying to sell it to this one guy. Will you tear it up if we sell it to him? And I said, yeah. I was new. And so I did. I had to tear it up. And he called me up and said, okay, we sold it to him, but we don't know what to do. Will you do the paperwork for us? All right, so I did the paperwork for $1,000, but now they needed someplace to go. They bought some $200,000 house. They happened to have, it really was a coincidence, 3.5% commission with a $1,000 bonus. Mm-hmm. And so $7,000 or $8,000 on that deal, more than made up for it anyway. Which, to your point on the business of networking, I think where you were going with getting is the giving aspect of the whole thing too. If you can have a mindset of giving, I'm here to give information. I want to give you something good. Not so much the Buffini stuff isn't so much like I'm going to send you something so I get something, but it's like I want to give you something out here. It's the essence of major religions. Mm-hmm. It's the whole thing of whether it's Luke 6:38 or some place buried in the Quran. You reap what you sow and you get what you give, and it's the essence of the whole thing. And if you're out there focusing on the giving aspect and you're giving it enough through social media, through hands-on, you tend to get the business back. Absolutely.